Now the Washington Post is saying that you're talking about 60% tariffs on Chinese goods. Is that in the cards?
No, I would say maybe it's going to be more than that. I'm going to put a 100, 200, 2,000% tariff. They're not going to sell one car into the United States.
As the incoming U.S. president is set to go big on economic nationalism, is China ready to brace for Trump Tariffs 2.0? The fact is, after a protracted trade war since 2018, Washington's targeted tariffs are losing its potency as China diversified its exports away from the United States. Over the past 6 years, the share of U.S. imports from China has dropped from 20% to 13%. At the same time, the share of China's exports to emerging markets rose from 42 to 50%. A notable example is mechanical and electrical products, which have long accounted for over half of China's total exported goods to America. Last year, only 15% of Chinese products in this category were shipped to the United States, down from 20% in 2018. Instead, they saw expansion in new markets like Vietnam, Mexico, India, and Russia.
公司未来的发展重心是海外市场，目前已经在海外印度、泰国、越南、墨西哥、巴西、美国、德国等国家已经设立了子公司。这子公司是未来公司进一步发展海外市场的一个桥梁。相信在未来公司的海外业务将继续保持一个持续的一个高速增长。
And contrary to popular belief, Chinese domestic demand has been grossly underrated. McKinsey concluded that Chinese consumers are among the most confident in the world after comparing data with some of the world's richest economies. This sentiment is echoed by a report from the Rodin Group, which shows that China has added 65% of cumulative annual consumption of the United States and twice that of the EU over the past 2 decades. Chinese EV sales at home, for example, is projected to reach over 10 million in 2024, tripling that of Europe, the world's second biggest EV market.
China is a very strong market, a huge market, we know that, but it's not only huge, but there is also purchasing power.
Another goal of Trump Tariffs 2.0 is to accelerate the shift of supply chains away from China. The wheels of relocation were actually set in motion long before the trade war, and it was in part driven by China itself. Since 2010, China's age dependency ratio started to climb, leading to a rise in labor costs. As a result, many labor-intensive industries have begun relocating overseas. However, the core parts of production remain firmly grounded in China due to supply chain complexity.
我们鼓励传统的工业走出去，但是我们还是要跟他们讲，你不能连根拔起，你的设计、开发，包括你的供应链，还是要在咱们国内。好像我在深圳，所有的供应链所有的设计，所有的开发这些的话都在深圳发生。那么我帮他形容一个叫做前店后厂。
The unabated U.S. exposure to China's supply chains is also evident in the high-tech sectors. Chinese drone companies are actively setting up assembly lines overseas, but the essential components of flight control continue to be manufactured within China. And even though the trade barriers have practically eliminated the exports of finished Chinese EVs to the United States, America remains the top destination for China's EV-related products like batteries, electric motors, and electric control systems.
It makes no sense to be increasing tariffs because at the end of the day, tariffs are paid by your own consumers. And this has been amply clear. So America hasn't benefited at all. And to the contrary, by telling workers that they can get easy protection by raising tariffs is no protection at all, because it doesn't help them and in the longer run doesn't help them change and become more competitive.